Yep, it's true. It is actually true. Very few kids actually, emphasis on the word actually, have ADD. My rogue 10th grade teacher was proof of that. Let's talk about it. Oh, before I do, yeah, this stream is brought to you by the coolest $3 Old Navy, what is this, jacket that I could ever find because it was taken to a thrift store and left by someone who didn't know how cool it was. Please and thank you. I'll take that. Bow. Nah, but on the real. Oh, and also don't forget, posting more on the public figure pages now. So don't forget to check there for the newest material from myself, Aaron Hill's music, the Fruition Experience Band, the Fruition Community, and Alma Chandra. Go check out those public figure pages and fan pages. But anyway, back to the topic. Very few kids actually have, emphasis on the word actually, ADD. Let's talk about what the real problem is. The real problem is trying to fit a round peg into a square hole. The real problem is not addressing the fact that we have different learning styles and that you can't take a cookie cutter approach at all to learning and to teaching because everybody learns differently. So you can't just slap a diagnosis of ADD on anyone. I'm living proof of that. And my 10th grade teacher, what's happening, Yvette? Thanks for joining me. Please invite somebody else to watch the stream. I think this is something that a lot of us could relate to. My 10th grade teacher was proof of that. And here's why. I had a rogue 10th grade teacher. Her name was Miss Coleman. I went to Milford Mill High School in Baltimore, Maryland. And she had a class that if you didn't know, you would think she was selling drugs with the amount of students that were piled on top of each other to get into her class. And she was a social studies teacher. Hey, Gavelia, thanks so much for joining. She was a social studies teacher. So she comes into the classroom, first day of school. She introduces herself. She says, hello, my name is Miss Coleman. I'm your social studies teacher. She goes over a few, housekeeping things. And then she says, we're going to learn all of American history. Okay, we know where we're going with this. We're used to this. We're going to do it in one day. And after that, we're going to teach you your real history. We're looking around at each other like, what's this woman talking about? And so we don't know what to expect. And here's what she proceeds to do. I have never seen anything like this in my life before or afterward when it came to the school system, but it let me know the reason why I tagged this video, the name. She sat down with us for one day and taught us about Christopher Columbus and all other that we've been taught for years. Literally trying to keep it clean, because y'all know. What's up, Derek? Thanks so much for hanging out, man. So, and matter of fact, thanks, because you actually know exactly what I'm talking about in this stream, because you were right there, a part of this experience. And there'll be other people who chime in too, who also went to Milford and remember this experience. She teaches us everything about Christopher Columbus and all the other, let's just call it yin yang for right now to be nice, that we've been taught about history. And then after that, she proceeds to teach us about Egypt, about Kemet, about energy, about auras and chakras, about our personal power, self-esteem, motivation, optimism in a regular public school. This is why I'm convinced that the absolute best thing we can do for anything we want in life is to give and to help others. And you'll have everything that you need because of the fact that it's cyclical. Sorry, y'all, I'm out here. Allergies and all kind of stuff kicking in. I might look like I'm crying halfway through the broadcast. Giving, though, is the #1 thing for return, Just giving of yourself and helping people, making the world a better place. And that's what she did. When I say that by the end of the school year, you didn't even have to ask a student to come to her class, and students that weren't in her class were trying to get in her class. So she started teaching us about our true history, and she didn't decipher between, you know, race or gender or what have you, but she was teaching us about deeper aspects of life in 10th grade, and we're 15, and something that I know many people wouldn't expect 15-year-olds to be into. But she dug into our learning styles, though. When I say, if you guys haven't been following, please check my videos from the past couple days. I've been doing how I got into music videos, and it just shares my story from the beginning of music at 14 all the way to now, 35, about to be 36. She's a part of that story, and there's one experience that I didn't tell, but I can share it here. That's a part of that story that made me who I am today. We got a chance to perform our music in class and get graded on it. We got a chance to perform original music in class for the rest of the class, and it was motivational music. We had a project, and we're studying about the Egyptians and the pyramids. Now again, when have you ever heard this in high school about, you know, people studying about the pyramids in Egypt, and not on a surface level? I'm talking about getting all the way down to auras and chakras and all that other good stuff. But she allows us to do, Purple Honey. Hold on, y'all. We got a guest appearance in the house. What's up? Just doing a quick live, man. Say what's up to the people. Purple Honey, y'all. I wore my shirt yesterday. I was gonna wear it again today, but I decided to wear the $3 Old Navy. Look, yo, the jump off. Somebody left it at the thrift store, didn't realize how cool it was, and I was like, please and thank you, I got it. Where you on your way to, man? Where you on your way to?
Take me somewhere real quick. I'll be coming back. I'll be back about 30 minutes.
All right, holla at me when we get back, man. All right, y'all. Purple Honey, hey, what's the date? What's the date, bro?
June 3rd.
June 3rd, y'all. Purple Honey.
June 3rd. Number High Production.
Check out Purple Honey on Facebook for all the info. All right, y'all. All right. See, that's what's cool about this. You get to do it live, bring everybody in on it, have some fun. So, she starts teaching us about the Egyptians, about the pyramids at Giza, and it got to the point where students were hooking their class just to get in her class. And we were all motivated about the information. We were all motivated about the projects. We were motivated about the daily class assignments. Like, we were motivated to no end. You didn't have to tell us to do Miss Coleman's homework. She had an after-school class. Now again, when have y'all ever seen this? She had an after-school class where she was just teaching us further about what we did in the regular class. She would teach us about auras and how to see your aura and that kind of thing, how to see your energy and be able to tell if you're in good health or bad health. And when you come into this class after school, and this was not required, I'm saying it's 60 kids in the class. All the seats, all the desks are filled. People sitting on top of desks if they can. We're sitting on top of the vents on the wall. I mean, we're standing up. She only lasted 1 year. She lasted 1 year. And you can imagine why. Like, throw some comments down, because I know y'all feel what I'm saying. Like, this was mind-blowing. And the thing was, it was something that every person to this day that I know that was in that class, the outcome of their life, it shows her, you know, her deposit, her influence in our life. Whether it's that we're like thinking about, you know, living natural and having natural hair and, you know, using natural skincare products and eating well and drinking water, you know, or just the pursuit of knowledge, you know, the pursuit of information, the pursuit of our own power. That was a teacher for you. And really, a lot of people needed to take notes on what she was teaching and just the style. Because when you have a group of students where they're coming after school and they're doing like activities where they're testing their energy and stuff like that. I mean, this is something that you just don't see. When you have a teacher that says, hey, what are you good at? Okay, here's a project, right? I'm going to give you an outline of project as far as what the project needs to be about as far as subject matter. So in this case, the pyramids of Giza and Egypt. But what I'm going to ask you, student, or you two students, or you three students, I'm going to ask you guys, what are you good at actually? What are your skills? What do you like to do? Okay, so y'all like to do music? Okay, cool. Y'all like to paint? Oh, you like to paint? Oh, cool. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. You guys, again, same project, same subject matter, different style, catering to different learning styles. You three, what you guys are going to do is go ahead and do a positive song about the pyramids. You can do your positive rap song about the pyramids, and then you get a chance, your presentation is to come in and perform that song. You all are going to draw or paint, an image and then explain its significance. And you over here, you guys are good readers, so you're good writers. So you're going to write about and give us an explanation back of what I taught you, but in your own way. I promise you, this right here, I promise that I would say if it was 60 kids in that class after school, I guarantee, even though I'm not good at stats on this because I'm no expert, but just using my common sense, I'd say probably at least 15, maybe 20 of those kids in that class at some point in time was probably either diagnosed with ADD or it was at least a speculation. But when you look around the class, everybody had the same level of focus. When you looked at the grades that we got, when you looked at when we would turn in projects or when we would participate in class. Hold on one second, y'all got to turn my charger on. All right. When you looked at our grades, when you looked at our enthusiasm, when you looked at our motivation, when you looked at the long-term effects of how we still remember her, and when I just sit in that class and look at everybody's focus, nobody, not even the guys who usually would be clowning around and just not paying attention. I mean, first of all, they were in there. Just for them to even come in after school was like, the clowns, the nerds, the white, the black, the Asian, the one. She had people coming from different grades. Like they say, where they do that at? What kids do you know would be in high school, and you got 9th graders trying to get into a class of 12th graders after, or 10th grade? Like, it was crazy, but crazy good. My 10th grade social studies teacher is proof that most kids who are diagnosed with ADD don't have ADD. The issue is that their learning style, the way that they process information, the way that they comprehend things, how they put things together, whether they're visual or whether they're hands-on, whether they're, have more of an auditory kind of memory or whether they have photographic memory, it's not being catered to. It's not being catered to. And that's the real deal. And I know we have to have systems where, I was just talking to my son about this yesterday, about music and why in school it's kind of tough teaching music and teaching ear training and theory because it's really based on pace, like your own pace, and there are different things that speak to different people. We kind of have to have it condensed because it is a school system, but sometimes we need to, I won't say sometimes, we always need to every year reevaluate these systems to be able to see if they still cater to our learning style. Because I promise you, this is another thing that I say a lot. In order to survive in today's society, this is why I don't judge the young people in the same way that I judge us when it comes to focus on how we do things. Because they're growing up in a society where it's not as beneficial to, I say it a different way, it's more beneficial to be able to have multiple conversations at one time, even if you're not totally paying attention to one or the other, but you're still managing all of them, than it is to just hone in on one, even though that's more about connection. They need both skills, but with social media, this is the first time, even with what I'm doing right now, think about this for a second. This is the first time as far as our human history where we could have multiple conversations at the same time, as well as contacting. Like, I can talk to you guys and actually contact somebody else while I'm talking to you to tell them that I'm talking to you so they can come and join in, and you can do the same, and I can read your comments and talk. Like, it's crazy. But in order to keep up with that, though, as you're born into it and as you're exposed to it, your brain has to function a bit differently than it did a couple generations ago. I remember the first time that my daughter, at probably the age of 2, she was able to tell the difference between when I was watching a YouTube video versus when I was on a video chat. And this wasn't in anything more than her paying attention to our interaction and the way that the person said something. If it sounded like they said it with enthusiasm in the moment, or like it was pre-planned based off of my reaction. Like, it was amazing. And what I realized in that moment is we're talking about brain chemistry changing in order to keep up with that. So I don't judge the youth the same way. Nobody should. Different learning styles, growing up in a different kind of world, having to manage in a different way. You know, just to keep up on Facebook, I'm quite sure while you guys are doing this, you might even have it tucked off to the side and still scrolling. Like, we're doing a lot. And sometimes it's overwhelming, sometimes good. But anyway, back to the main point. The main point is that you have to cater to different learning styles. It's not about cookie cutter styles, no matter what you do, whether you're a full-time school teacher or whether you homeschool your kids. It's about different learning styles and catering to that. You can't judge everybody by the same learning system because everybody learns in a different way. My son, I'm very much up here. He's very much here in the feeling aspect of things. And I try to teach him how to learn the other side, how to add it to the feeling side. But I can't just expect that he's got to be here just because I'm here. And I can't try to force that system and tell him that if he's not doing it that way, then like he's not doing it the way. Nah. Got to study the way that he learns. Got to study the way that these kids learn. And you have to go to the point in one school system where you develop little ways of allowing each person to express themselves and allowing each person to do the project or the activity in the way that's best suited for their skills. Because if you give a kid who's more hands-on an E on an assignment because of the fact that he or she couldn't remember visually what they saw, then you're actually applying the wrong grade. I mean, you're applying the wrong grade, you know, to the wrong display of a skill set. It's just wrong, you know. So anyway, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to get it right all the time because it's a complex process. But the whole point of doing this live stream was to just say that I'll say the majority of the people, because I sat there in the class with them. In other classes, they were totally distracted. Majority of the kids that are presumed to have ADD don't. It's just that their learning style is not being adapted to. These kids in other classes of mine were bouncing off the walls. These kids in this class, in this social studies class, were honed in. And from the class clown to the teacher's pet, they all were focused in the same way. So she figured something out. Let's take notes. Let me know what y'all think. I respond to every comment and every question, so please drop it. And once again, don't forget to head over to the public profile pages for myself, Amachandra, Fruition Experience, as well as the Fruition community, those profile pages and band pages for the new material so that we can push it in a different direction to help grow everything. I love you guys. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Peace.